Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the weekly wrap up, where this is our first show for 2024, and we're excited.
Very exciting. Yeah. A lovely week off, a couple of weeks actually. Both
Yeah.
Christmas and New Year's Day, we weren't quite feeling up for a wrap up. But
Well, we didn't think
great.
anyone would tune in because they were still celebrating going into New Year's around the world. So, yeah, we
Exactly.
go in before
Yeah,
everyone.
exactly. Didn't feel very appropriate, but there we go. We're here now.
We
And
are.
an exciting week ahead, we feel, with news at
I
least.
think so.
About the
We've
big,
got so
yeah.
much happening in the market this week. This is a huge week. We've got interest rates.
Mm.
Now, if the USA is anything like Australia, Australia has a stay on interest rates for January. So it's normally quite similar worldwide. So hopefully that shows a stay on interest rates, rise. And then we are going down on the rates. And that's when our bull run should start. It coincides with halving or halvening, however you want to say it, depending on which camp you're in. And it should be an exciting 2024.
Absolutely. And what better way to start it than reading your incredible book?
Yeah, so if I saw a really awesome quote the other day that I put on Instagram. So it only takes a year to change your life. And what better way to do it than become a millionaire in a year? Was that a really good sales pitch?
We can't see your name. Pull it out a bit.
Ooh, there we
No,
go.
out. Yeah, there we go. That's the one. And you can do any signed copies?
I am. You've just been setting up the website so that I can do some signed copies. So I've had a few people DM me and ask me for that. So if you do want that, I'm going to put a link out later on. And if you do want to get the Kindle, if we can just head across, it's still the #1 new release on Kindle and Amazon. Which is super exciting. It has sat there since its release, which is just awesome. So thank you guys for all supporting me. And yeah, it's getting into the mindset. Obviously, over the last couple of weeks, we've had a hard couple of weeks where we've had a lot of stop losses. It's more about sort of understanding the cycle of money and how that works. And obviously, stop losses are there to protect your capital, and it's really hard when those hit, and because you've got goals and dreams attached to those. But when we're looking at the bigger picture, we can zoom out and we can go, okay, this is just a blip in the market. It's going to turn around. It's going to go back green. We're potentially going into a bull run with the halving and Bitcoin, and it's looking really huge. So we've had a really strong couple of months where we've been doing, over 100% profits on a lot of coins, and they're just pulling back. That's a necessary part of building strength into these patterns. So don't sweat the small stuff, just zoom out. And you just need to get into the right mindset and get that all going, get the strategies happening, and understanding how trading works. So if you're really new to trading, it's a perfect thing. It explains how wave patterns work, how support and resistance work. So many different things in there. It's 470 pages, so it's got a lot.
It's a big read.
It is a big read,
Okay.
so it's a big book. You can see there. And it's got a whole heap of quotes in there as well. You'll find those in there as well, as you go into new chapters, just to keep you motivated.
Excellent stuff. Okay, well, we are broadcasting to the world right now, YouTube and X. Robbie here on YouTube. Morning, Josh and Lisa. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you and everyone watching. Obviously, if you are in the group, gettingstartedcrypto.com, you can chat to us as well. We've got Sadie in the chat already, and requesting some charts for you, Lisa, to chart. So we'll get onto that. But firstly,
We will get onto that.
Take a look at the big boy, Bitcoin.
Dive into Bitcoin. So, Crypto, we do a daily Bitcoin update. This is essential. You need to know what Bitcoin is doing to understand the entire market. So Bitcoin controls basically everything. There will be the odd alt that runs against it and has like, oh, I don't need you sort of feeling. With XRP's held fairly strong, and GQ, and another one I noticed was QNT. All those three have held really, really strong against this Bitcoin pullback. They're in a slightly different pattern. But when we have a look at Bitcoin, it is looking absolutely perfect. So, you know, this is a minor pullback. Unfortunately, the alts are having quite a large pullback. But this is preparing. So we've got $2 billion in liquidity that's just been printed from Tether. So that is to replenish networks. So that means majorly when we've got a big move coming, usually we get a liquidity push. So, and that sort of just ensures that there's enough Tether there that if, you know, we do have that ETF approval, the demand can be met and it doesn't stop Bitcoin running or the alts running or whatever decides to run at that point. But it will be mainly focused on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Reason being, we're seeing quite a big bounce in the BTC dominance. So when we look at this, we've had a perfect touch to this fib level. So this tells me that, you know, while we might get a little bit of sideways at the moment, we're still going up. So, you know, if we look at El Capo, I love looking at his charts. I'm in his Telegram group just to have a look. He's got a chart again that goes to about 48,000. Then it comes back down to about 12,000. So if a BTC ETF gets approved, that's not going to happen. So, and looking at the 4-year cycle, potentially we've got one more pullback, but you know, if an ETF gets delayed, we're going to see a pullback. We're probably going to see quite a large pullback, but not a $12,000 pullback. We've already seen the bottom. So according to the 4-year cycle, we've seen the bottom. So that's in. When we have a look at the parabola on the edge here, so we can see that if we did get a pullback here, we're looking at, you know, maybe around sort of 27 to 25K. That's a major pullback. I don't think that's happening. So stranger things have happened and it might happen, but I'm just letting you know that's where I see ultimate support. We do have like a diagonal support in this region, which is around the 37K mark. So that's quite a strong region as well. So if we were to get a pullback, if an ETF is delayed, so just be aware that these things can take time. And, you know, as much as we want them to go through, we need to be prepared for both different scenarios. So, you know, we have some orders waiting there, or we have some sell orders higher. So the next fib level we've got here on the chart is around 50,800, and the potential upper rally region is around the all-time high. So if it gets super bullish, if this ETF really gets approved and it just continues to pump through, the next wave up, the completion of this wave is at just above the 69 and 33. I think it was 69,254. So that's kind of what we're looking at. We do have a strong resistance region though around that 50K mark. It's a psychological region. There's going to be a lot of shorters, but when we look at whales and they're looking, and exchanges looking for liquidity, we always look for shorters, or opposite, when there's, you know, an overly bullish market, they'll pull it back and gain liquidity that way. So the liquidity may be used from those shorters when we get a short squeeze. So just be aware of that. It may just blow right through 50K. So there are different scenarios on Bitcoin at the moment. So we can see that the US DT dominance is kind of looking a bit sort of bumpy in this region. That's okay. We're going to sort of, you know, bounce up and down for a little bit, as we see with Bitcoin as well, before, you know, we pull right back and we get that momentum. Sorry, can't even speak. Momentum where we're sort of really building Bitcoin and the alts up, and people are just buying. So that's going to be what's going to happen for the dominance chart. And when we have a look at the BTC dominance, we can see that we have resistance sitting up here at about 55.6. So that's where we'll get a little bit of breathing room for the alts, and a little bit of money flow will go back into those. So right now, Bitcoin dominance is on the rise, and that's what's drawing money from the alts. So the money has to come from somewhere, and it draws out from the alts. It goes into Bitcoin, flows into Ethereum, flows back into the alts. It's the cycle of how it all works. So just be aware of that.
And I think it's a Bitcoin weekly. If you can flick that up, it's probably just about closed now. But that's probably the highest it's closed in, well, how many weeks now? 20 odd? Let's take a look.
Yeah, we've got another 16 hours.
On the weekly? Is that the
day? So hang on, let me go 1 week. Oh yeah, we've closed the weekly.
Yeah.
So it kind of closed just above the previous highs. So yeah,
still looking
which is a nice close.
If we can get through the choppiness, then.
But this period is inherently choppy. So we're going into halving in a couple of months. We've had quite a large run on BTC and alts. There needs to be some support built into those patterns. And basically that just means that we go up and down for a little bit in a similar zone. It kind of feels like sideways. It chops up the market, the liquidity grab, and then off we go. So, just sort of sit tight. If you're in spot, it's a good place to just, set some lower stop losses, and you'll be fine.
Okay,
unless
cool.
We don't get an ETF, and then those stop losses will hit, and then you'll be like, okay, I'm glad I had a stop loss.
Dry powder for the next pump up anyway.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Anything else you want to share with the world before we close off and go into the group?
No, I think, just be safe out there when you're trading. It has been really red and choppy. Obviously, Bitcoin had a bit of a pump this afternoon. So we just want to, have enough money that we can go into the next bull run and, be really profitable. So that comes with money management. So make sure you're looking after that. Make sure you're taking profits as the trades move, and happy trading.
Yeah, so really it's perspective at this point, because it's so easy to get tied down into days and weeks sometimes where you just think, no, it's not worth it. But until you pull out and go, we're still not even.
Yeah, you see people zoomed in on like the 1 and 5 minute charts, and it's just, look, I'm gonna zoom right in, and it can be such a sort of a choppy sort of pattern where it just goes down, up, and at the moment that's what I would call inherently sideways. It's moving in a very tight range. We can see the MAs have really tightened up, and it's just hugging that. So that is normally a consolidation pattern where we're seeing some sort of big move on the way. So
okay,
it's going to be an exciting couple of months, I think.
All right. Well, we've got some chart requests coming in here, so we're going to hop off into getting started in crypto.com and have a look at those. If you're not there, come and join us, because we'd love to see you. Otherwise, we will catch you all next week. So let's say goodbye to X, and also